Hello and welcome to this edition of the Harrisburg Heat Flash. I'm joined right now by Harrisburg Heat bench boss Tarik Walker. And Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Coach, some new faces this year, and it's a real positive for the Harrisburg Heat. Not only do you guys get stronger with two of these signings, but you make your competition a little weaker as well.
Yeah.
You got Audato Neto from Baltimore, and you also got Lucio Gonzaga from Baltimore. Talk about those two guys first.
Well, they're going to be huge signings for us. Just the veteran leadership. They have multiple championships under their belt, and we've already seen through preseason how they've helped our younger guys, and even off the field, that's going to be huge for us. Is bringing in those type of guys that know how to be professional, and they treat their bodies well. Take care of themselves, and definitely shows through a training session when you see these guys come in and they're able to help our other guys get to a certain level.
Did you already see some of that going on in preseason camp?
Yeah, we definitely did. Like I said, when we brought in Chris Williams, was another face that we brought in from Detroit. Those guys definitely know what they're doing. They know what they're doing as far as being a pro, how to treat your bodies and take care of yourselves, and how to train every day, concentrating on the concepts that we're talking about. So those guys are going to be a huge help, and we're really excited. Back from day one that we started, and John and I were talking about a good balance of youth and veteran leadership, and so I think we have finally gotten to that point now.
Piggybacking on what you were just talking about, you talked about Chris Williams. He's a grizzled indoor soccer veteran. Last year, you kind of relied on a guy like Brad Kerstetter. No disrespect to him, he had a pretty good season for you last year, but he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
What's it mean to have that veteran that even the other guys can rely on?
It's funny you mentioned his name because Brad came up to me last night and we had a little short conversation, and he's super excited about being around these guys that can help him get forward as a professional. So, and that's exactly what you want. You want a good balance of youth. Our younger guys took it on their shoulders to improve last season, and now they're going to get a chance to reap the rewards of having a veteran next to them to take them further along.
Does that make your job easier as a coach?
Obviously. There's certain coaching points that you can get across as a coach, but when you have somebody on the field next to you, also going over the same points, it's going to be a huge help.
And obviously, we talked about your system a lot and how it works, and it's a complicated system. It's tough for players to know, but it helps having those coaches on the field that we just talked about. But also, it helps too, I think, from a credibility standpoint, when not just when you see other teams like Milwaukee win championships with that system, but now other guys who have actually in the flesh won championships and they're playing on your team now. That, I would think, lends itself even a step further to
Well, I mean, that's part of it. And part of, why those guys came over is because I've had previous relationships as a player with them. So they know exactly how I would be as a coach.
Sure.
And that kind of thing lends well to having more players come in. And so it's been crazy the kind of interest that we've gotten since those guys have signed too. So we're looking forward to what that future brings to us.
That sounds really special in terms of a team building standpoint.
Yeah.
Also, you and I talked a lot in the offseason about the offseason tryouts and what kind of a big deal those were going to be in terms of even getting players to help on your roster this year. And it turns out you were successful in getting a good number of players. Talk about some of those players that you got from those camps.
Yeah, from the camp we got Dominic Francis, who was signed with us but is working through some visa petition. We got Ryan Morris, who's another kid that came through us through our tryouts. These are kids that we knew going into tryouts that we needed 4 or 5 players. And these guys have come in and just worked their tails off and really combined themselves with our veteran guys, with our younger guys that were here previously last year. And so it's been an easy mix and easy flow for them to come into the team.
Fantastic. Anything at all you thought was important about the off-season or the preseason training camp?
Well, I mean, I think any time that you bring in veterans, you're always a little bit apprehensive about how they gel with the other guys. We had some contract discussions that needed to be had with other players, and in order to bring in some other players, and I think that is also can be a touchy issue when you're talking about teams and players. But these guys have done well, and I'm truly appreciative of how they've handled it.
Well, and I'm piggybacking on what you just said there. That just speaks about what we were talking about earlier about what a team this really is for God. I mean, having a team is all about making sacrifices for your teammates, and it sounds like you're off to a really good start with that.
Yeah, and I think that the guys that we brought in understand that. The guys that were here last year understood it, and so everybody's just looking forward to combining together and being a happy family and see where we go with it.
Having said all that, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to get this season underway?
It's been a lot of work. But we'll get it done. We're there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Coach Tarik Walker, thank you so much for joining us on the Heat Flash. Stay tuned for more episodes of the Heat Flash on Heat social media, on Facebook and Twitter, also Instagram, and on HarrisburgHeat.com. Thank you for joining us, everyone.